Sinja Buri. I'm a project manager with the Munich Climate Insurance Initiative. We are at COP, and yesterday we had Gender Day. I'm joined by Jennifer Phillips, who is advisor at the Insurance Resilience Global Partnership and especially lead for the Center of Excellence on Gender Smart Solutions of the Insurance Resilience Global Partnership. Thanks a lot for joining me today. Women are disproportionately affected by extreme weather events. How are they disproportionately affected?
Yes. No, thank you for bringing this topic up, Sinja. Gender hasn't always been a big emphasis at COP, but more in the recent years, we've seen more and more emphasis on needing to look for gender-smart approaches to climate adaptation. And the reason for this is that although natural hazards like cyclones and drought don't specifically target anyone, due to the differences in the educations that women receive, the livelihoods that they have, their daily activities, and their responsibilities, the effects of these natural hazards are very different. So, for example, in the case of the tsunami back in 2004, we saw that the fatalities of women were much higher. Around 70% of the total fatalities were of women compared to men. And this is because many women weren't taught to swim or how to deal with these types of situations. And this holds true for many other different types of natural hazards due to their livelihoods of working as farmers. Many women get their livelihoods from growing crops and vegetables and fruits on their farms, and if a drought comes, other sources of livelihood like going into construction work isn't always a possibility for them. And so because of this, they are often much more strongly affected by these natural hazards, and it's why we need to think about how we can use gender-smart approaches to make climate adaptation fair and equal for both men and women.
Thanks. And then specifically, why do we need gender-smart solutions for disaster risk financing in these contexts?
Yeah, exactly. Another good question. When we think of climate and disaster risk financing and insurance solutions, we're talking about instruments like insurance, parametric insurance. We're talking about credit, savings mechanisms. All of these instruments, when you think about them, can be used by both men and women. So why is a gender-smart approach needed? And this is because when you think of these types of instruments, like insurance should try to protect people against certain types of risk. And people's risks depend on the livelihoods that they're doing and where they're living and working. So if a woman is primarily working at her house, growing crops on her farm, these risks will be different than, for example, another member of the household who's a male who goes into the city to work and is more affected when a flood comes and affects his workplace than a woman who might be much more concerned about the low levels of rainfall that could affect her crop turnout. So we really have to think about understanding the different risks and vulnerabilities that men and women are facing.
When implementing these projects, what are the specific opportunities and challenges to do gender-smart solutions within that space for disaster risk financing solutions?
Yeah, this is another great question and another very important point. What we find often is that sometimes when working in this financial space, banks, insurance companies, different financial institutions will work with traditional groups like cooperatives or associations in order to bring these products to the people. However, if some of these groups are very male-dominated and the women are working more often from home, then these instruments will only be presented to, bought and used by male groups, and this could potentially increase the inequality between men and women. And it's not because men and women have a very vastly different demand for these products. It's very often has to do with how these products reach the people, what are the distributions channels that are used to get these products to the people, how are these products marketed so that people can understand how they meet their specific needs. And so when not thinking about how to target specifically women, we often just go with the default of the male-dominated areas, and this can really affect affect the number of people who are using the instruments and really exclude women then from being able to access and understand how they could benefit from these products.
So now, if a project and there are other implementers listening and practitioners, what are the tools and insights available maybe to make existing projects gender smart, gender transformative? What are the tools available?
It's another great question, and that's why I'm very happy to be here today, because last year at the COP, the Center of Excellence for Gender Smart Approaches was launched. And what the Center of Excellence tries to do is it works in 4 different areas. The first is building up knowledge and evidence on these gender differences that exist between men and women when it comes to disasters and climate adaptation. And here you'll find the repository of different types of toolkits, guides, and evidence and publications that really look to not only show what these differences are, but also to equip projects and programs with the tools they need to integrate gender smart approaches into their work. And so these are documents created by the Ensure Resilience Global Partnership, as well as many of our partner organizations like the START Network or CARE International. Many different organizations around the world have really concentrated on the need to empower women. And so we also try to showcase their publications through our website as well. A second thing that we like to focus on is guidance. Here we recently launched the Technical Advisory Facility, where we work with different programs to see how they can integrate gender components into their monitoring and evaluation. And these types of activities we're looking to also scale up in the upcoming year, and really working more with different groups, countries, and programs to increase their level of knowledge and education on gender smart approaches and to inform them how to integrate this into their work. The third thing that we try to focus on is providing women with opportunities to learn about these topics of climate and disaster risk financing approaches, and to see how gender can be integrated in them. And so we work together with the Access to Insurance Initiative in order to provide scholarships to women so that they can access different training programs focusing on these topics. And then the fourth thing that we really want to do is, we know a lot of people here at COP, a lot of the people around the world, a lot of organizations have been working to develop gender smart approaches, conducting research to see how women are specifically affected. And what we try to do there is build up a community of practitioners, researchers, implementers, and other experts in the gender field. And we invite them to join our gender group, where we meet a couple of times a year to discuss different developments in the space, as well as to set priorities in terms of the type of research that's needed, and to discuss different opportunities that are available to the members. So for anyone who's interested in these topics, I would recommend checking out the Center of Excellence for Gender Smart Approaches website that's hosted by the Ensure Resilience Global Partnership, and to find out more and contact us, because we know it's a topic that still requires a lot more learning, and we'd really love to bring in these different expertise that exist from all different parts of the world.
Thanks a lot. These are great resources that are available, and we're looking forward to continue collaborating on that, and exciting what's happening in that space. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Sinja.